3, 2, 1.
Complex area where it is Nigeria's Remo Stars looking, of course, to make their way into the lucrative group stages of the CAF Champions League. Today, they will be hosting finalists from last season, South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns, who are, of course, still yearning for that second star. Joining me in studio to unpack the expectations is, of course, Itumeleng Khune as well as Hlompo Kekana. Gentlemen, let's speak to then getting just your thoughts in terms of, we've seen the starting 11, Hlompo, from your vantage point, from a Remo Stars point of view. What do you think will be the outcome on the field of play? Because we've seen an Orlando Pirates team that shared their starting 11. Of course, the game not televised because the host nation not getting those broadcast rights. Solid team put out, but the results not quite going their favor. When we look at this Remo Stars team, what do you think is the outcome here this afternoon?
Well, I'll use Itumeleng Khune's words that you can't take the matches for granted because you don't know who you're playing against. And I'm sure Orlando Pirates, when they went there, they didn't know who they're playing against, but they got their surprises. And I think Mamelodi Sundowns, they need to do the same. Make sure that every box is ticked. Make sure that you close your back door because, like I said in the beginning, that this is a competition of goals. Nations that are holding this super pride of not losing these matches.
But the one thing as well we've seen from Mamelodi Sundowns of late, especially from a fan point of view, is saying we want to see not just the results, but we want to see the type of football that we're accustomed to. So Coach Miguel Cardoso is not only dealing with the difficulty of getting results, but also playing in a particular way that makes the Sundowns faithful happy.
Remember, I was once coached by Stuart Baxter.
Ilambatha engaphethe into ingaphumelelanga namnye umdlalo namhlanje bathi kunamhlanje amava abo eChampions League azabathethelela ukuba kuyiwa kweliphina icala okanti ke amadodana alapho kwelaseNigeria iRemo Stars kudala benkonkoza kodwa zange bade bafikelele apho sitshoyo khona sithi zi-group stages bawanganeno bawaphansi namhlanje ke bathi siselele imidlalo mibini phambi singene kwi-group stages ukuba bayaphumelela namhlanje baphinde kwiveke ezayo eLoftus beyazeke emzekweni benze kwaloo nto inye kwakucaca ngoko namhlanje iSundowns iza kufuna ukulungisa into yokuba noba ibala lingenziwa ngesiquphe sizaphumelela namhlanje ukanti ke iqela layo iqela lamadodana eRemo Stars khumbule ngomhla wama-26 kuSeptemba ebegqibezela umdlalo wawo wokutshayelela ukungena ubheka phambili xa bedlala ne-US Zilimatsu apho aphumelele khona ngepenalty kumdlalo wabo wesibini ephumelela ngepenalty ngo-1-0 penalty efakwe ngungenge namhlanje ke bathathe kwa elaqela linye babephumelele ngala 1-0 ngelanqaku linye eqandeni beza nalo namhlanje Sompempe abaphethe umdlalo Abdul Abdel indoda yaseCameroon nguye ozabe ephakathe vuthela madoda ku-Sundowns aqula ligangatha.
Well, thank you, Scotty. The Sundowns starting 11, as you see it, is a good mix of regulars, youngsters, older dogs, and new signings as well. You've got Ronwen Williams, Kulusu Mutau, Aubrey Mudiba, and Teboho Mokwena coming back from successful World Cup qualification duty. Marcelo Allende in the midfield looking to pull the strings, and Peter Shalulile is back up top, leading the line for Bafana Style. So welcome to SABC2, welcome to Abeokuta in Ogun State, in the heart of Nigeria, where continental dreams, CAF Champions League continental dreams are either conceived, Scotty, or simply cut short.
Ubona kwa izithunzi zabadlali ukuba zithande ukuba kufutshane siba mfutshane into ethetha ukuba ilanga ingatsini beliqikelelo ke pha kumashumi mabini anethoba iqondo lobushushu kodwa wabona amathunzi aqala okunaba ngoku nabaqeqeshi sebesondela kwindawo zabo ukuba indawo izaqala ngoku ezaqala uTiago Gonde indoda eqeqeshayo namhlanje endaweni yakhe indoda esiqeleyo nguDaniel Ogunmodede madoda mabini eSundowns abachakazi abafikayo abazaxelela ba madoda olukhuphiswano leChampions League iSundowns liqhelile nyaka nonyaka ubusomvile uIto esitsho njalo esithi Sundowns ngaphezulu kweminyaka esibhozo ngoku isoloko ikhona yaqala inkathazo wasuka umdlalo ususwa ngamadodana ayo Remo Stars abafana abasebancinci ngeminyaka baselula ngokweminyaka yabo ihamba pha kumashumi abini anesibini kanti bakhona abanamashumi abini ananye ukanti ukhona nominyaka ilishumi elinethoba ndoda ekuzawujongwa kuyo namhlanje uAdama Goita zabe enxibele uJesu nombolo 29 emqolo sistriker sabo iforos yabo ifoslach yabo phaphambili indoda enobungozi kodwa ke kwauxhomekeka ukuba umxheshi uyawufumana nako indodana uHadi kunye noAlex Young owayo noChaka Ukalibali bakhawuleza bamdwendwela uRonwen Williams bathi sizawuthanda uquqa sisiza kulomhlaba wakho Sundowns yade alifumana ithuba yayicenga ibhola yayibeka phansi kubizwe neqala ngokwalo ngoku indoda yamarekodi uPeter Shalulile kuthiwa izashasha kuPeter pasa kahle la bhola uAubrey Mudiba alukardos uphakamise izandla ndiyazi nobuthi kusompempe kwenzeka ntoni na ndoda yahlala phansi kokholezo khulu yeRemo Stars usompempe kodwa othe umdlalo uselawulweni wakhe ehlatywa kakuhle la bhola kwicabanga lasekunene ayijongile uSaila Mudau uzayiyeka la bhola iphumele ngaphandle kuzafuneka beyijongile ke indodana ebaleka kwicabanga lasekunene indoda ovale pha kakhulu i-right back yapho uIbrahim uAbubakar indoda eyaziwayo ke apha kumadodana Remo Stars ayende phansi wabeka unozinti wakhe phansi koxinzelelo ndani kusenzima ukufumana isango eliphumayo yayithatha lo bhola iRemo Stars kodwa usompempe abesebethe impempe wathi wohlwaya amadodana eRemo Stars hlabe kabuhlungu uMarcelo Allende yakhayikhawulezisa abaqubula iSundowns kodwa ithekle enhle ngasemva pha yamadodana ayo iRemo Stars ube bhola yathanda uba kuRemo Stars kule mizuzu mibini yokuqala kwesiqingatha sokuqala kayena Cupido wahlala into enhle wayichitha yonke lonto ngasemva thathe iSundowns lo bhola ibuyisela ngasemva kwindodana uSamuel akuzakufuneka iSundowns imjongile naye ukanti indoda edlala apha ngasemva kwi-center back uLeonard Ngenge enye yamadodana aselula ngeminyaka uyathanda ke ukubonakala qoqoqo phambili indoda iphumelelise eliqela ke ngala penalty ka-1-0 kulamlenzi wesibini ubudlala nozinti wanamhlanje uSeje obhasa basambeke ngaphandle omnye unozinti Ibrahima Abiola offside baqwabe offside abafana beRemo Stars Bole zabekwa phansi Mamelodi Sundowns uzikhumbule bayaqala bona ukudlala kulomdlalo kwimidlalo echayelela ukhiwa kwi-group stages akange badlale kumjikelo oqala iRemo Stars ibidlalile yona yaphumelela namhlanje ke ukuba bayaphumelela namhlanje baphinde baphumelele kwiveke ezayo bazabe bayaqala ezimbalini zabo abadlali beRemo Stars ukuyokungena kwi-Champions League group stages azange bake bayibone lonto ukanti iMamelodi Sundowns qoqoqo isolo kibonakala Nigeria Orlando Pirates bankhumbula kahle ngo-1996 apho yayiqubisene khona neqela i-Shooting Stars kulapho i-Orlando Pirates yathi sidiniwe kubethwe eNigeria babuya nempumelelo kodwa kwalo Shooting Stars yafika apha ekhaya yakhiqa i-Orlando Pirates kuba Orlando Pirates yafika yalinganisa amanqaku kwafuneka kuyiwe ke ngoku kwi-penalties Orlando Pirates baphosa i-penalty yanye i-Shooting Stars yaba ikhiqa i-Orlando Pirates kwi-group stages eyibeka ecaleni namhlanje Sundowns ithi kudala sisiza apha sisihlandlo sesine ngoku iSundowns ilapho kwelaseNigeria isihlandlo ezithathu babuye bengawuphumelelanga umdlalo asazi namhlanje bazawuthini na tshintsho likhawuleze lenzeka kwiSundowns emva kokuba uJoshrick Morris Matthews Xebe ngomzuzu weshumi elinesibini 12th minute ebhala inqaku lokuqala Malibongwe Khoza khawuleza waphuma kodwa ke kungene iqala leMamelodi Sundowns ngasemva kungene iqala leMamelodi Sundowns ngasemva uGrant Kekana khumbula imidlalo mininzi uGrant engasadlali Remo Stars ibhola yabo yachithwa ngokukhawuleza okukhulu akhutshwa ngaphandle iMamelodi Sundowns khutshwa kwanguGrant Kekana osanda kungena ngaphakathi ebaleni wathi ogqiba wathetha nodonga lakhe lokugqibela uGrant Kekana xa selidibene kwala dongo leMamelodi Sundowns ngasemva kunzima ukuba uqhobhoze kulo eqale ngomfutho onzima kabafana bayiRemo Stars Sundowns yabathamalalisa ngokukhawuleza ifaka inqaku kungekadluli nemizuzu elishumi elesihlanu phezu kokuba ibhola yakhe Nuno Santos naye ebeyibethe kahle kodwa ibingenamandla ukhumbula uba ibhola ayizuba ne-bounce ezininzi apha kweli bala kuba ke lenziwe ibhola ngenye ixesha izawubambezeleka wakhala uSompempe ohlwa iMamelodi Sundowns Sompempe kuzafuneka lo mdlalo ungamphuncuki kuzafuneka ungamphuncuki i-tackles asizibonileyo apha zithande ukuba buhlungu nangoku amadoda egilana kayena Cupido bayithathile ibhola kuye bamshiyelele wasebenza u-Aubrey Mudiba Remo Stars yakhawuleza yabuya nebhola bayifanga phakathi ebhoksini bazama i-short passes wafika uTebuwa bamhlaba uTebuwa uSompempe ngekalikhuphi ikhadi abadlali baza kuyenza lento bayenzayo kuza kufuneka abagrogrise ngekhadi ngoku ayi-professional foul kodwa lenzeke kuTebuwa yile nto bekhala ephakamisa izandla baqeqeshi beRemo Stars bade baphakame noDaniel ngoku ode aphakame Sundowns bayazazi baba sekwi-advantage into yokufaka inqaku ukude nekhaya iyakusebenzela mhla zibuyayo ayicenga iSundowns leli bhola Peter Shalulile wayihlabalala ithuba u-Aubrey Mudiba ufike kade Matthews akabi khona nye ikona kick kulo mdlalo ophiba befuna okhawulezile phezu kwala bhola afike nje abethe angabuzi sompempe ikhat lokuqala liphumela ukeyano Kokupito ufumane ikhat elimthubi okanye nguMarcelo mhlawumbe uyawutsho ulawuleke kumdlalo emva kwalento yenziwe ngusompempe yokukhupha ikhat Tasnik Matthews water break Azashilo sathi ngatsini yobushushu iyavakala Azashilo sathi ngatsini yobushushu iyavakala ngoko bazawunikwa imizuzu emibini abadlali ukuba ke bafumane amanzi uDaniel umqeqeshi weRemo Stars othethayo kwelacala Steve Kompela aziphatha amasha seSundowns abaqeqeshi beSundowns iyabonakala nje ubushushu ngoku kufuneka itaweli zifakwe ngaphakathi emanzini zikhutshwe abadlali bazithwale enhloko zinjalo basijonge inqaku lika Matthews ayikhona ililo lanqaku lakhe bekhalela khona ebekhalela ihandball usompempe wathi akho handball apha itaweli zixoxuwe emanzini zinikwe umdlalo ihlela lekushushu ngayo ewe siyazi bana naseMzantsi Afrika kusehlotyeni kodwa ububushushu budibene neMamelodi Sundowns abungangado intetho ke ngoku kubadlali bayo iRemo Stars kuba bebeqale kakuhle umdlalo bebeqale ngezinga eliphezulu kodwa iSundowns yabonakalisa umonde yade yalifumana ithuba lalinye ibilifuna yalibeka ngaphakathi emnatheni ababukeli nabalandeli beqela bangene kuwaka elithatha ikwibhala elithatha 10,000 bangene mahala kuzanye uba bazongxolela iMamelodi Sundowns eyiqhelileyo ingxolo mizuzu emibini usompempe uthi iphelile kaza kufuneka kudlaliwe iSundowns ihamba phambili Sundowns ihamba phambili ngenqaku elinye eqandeli Sosiyo bayibeka phambili la bhola iRemo Stars ansi bhola yabo bayicenga bhola bayitrepa bayibeka phansi bayilopha lafika udonga leSundowns lavica abazibuko Sundowns yavala kodwa basayitrepa la bhola iRemo Stars lo bhola uphuma phezulu kwebhali usompempe uthi ufuna ikora kick yeRemo Stars yavala iSundowns yathi nayi namhlanje Hlale kakuhle ukayena Cupido hlale kakuhle kakhulu kodwa yabonakala ubushushu phezu kwabadlali beMamelodi Sundowns ngoku ikora kick yokuqala yalo mdlalo thathwa i-left back Chikosi chithwa ngokulula lo corner kick iMamelodi Sundowns kodwa ibhola izawuphinda iphoswe ngesandla chithwa ngokulula isetisho kodwa nali ithuba kodwa wakhawuleza waphuma uRonwen Williams ayibona uba akazukulenza ixesha uGrant Kekana yayithatha iSundowns ibhola abona ke ibalele ngizoyo lina lanto ibhola iyabambeka kuba libuplastic kayina Cupido hlala ibhola enhle ibuyisela la bhola ngasemva ozokufika ezolile uRonwen Williams ebona uDaniel umudawu xhebe ehlale inqondo indoda yeRemo Stars ibonile abadlali bayo bangasemva abekho oko bebeye phambili kula corner kick yaqonda uba bayithathe le bhola ibethe ngenhloko ikhuphele ngaphandle kwebala bebethe Remo Stars bethe iqela laseComoros, i-US. Silimaju bayibetha ngamanqaku amaninzi, baqale bayibetha ngamanqaku amane eqandeni, bayibetha ngenqaku elinye eqandeni. Baba bayadlula, yiyo loo nto izobabeka phambi kweMamelodi Sundowns namhlanje abayivumeleyo yafaka inqaku ikude nekhaya. Abangabi izawufakela esibini iSundowns izawufika ke Loftus sesithi siyawuqukumbela umcimbi. Uzabe sewugraya ke lamtshini omatshini wombalo omthubi Sundowns bethiwe lo bhola bebezama uyifaka phakathi baphinde kwakhona acengwa la bhola ngumutawa pasi ibhola ehle umutawa Sompembe uthi mayibe i-goal kick yeqela layo i-Remo Stars. Sundown advantage Ray.
Sundowns with the 1-goal advantage, indeed, Scotty. Kulisha Mutau and Nuno Santos working together with one another very closely, finding one another very well. But it's not going to be easy to score against Remo Stars again, to keep them at bay for the remainder of this being their home match. The boys in sky blue do realize that this is their chance to nail Mamelodi Sundowns into a bit of a corner, make their home fixture in South Africa's capital a little bit more difficult. That goes back to the Bafana and Mamelodi Sundowns captain, to another stalwart for club and country, Mokoena. Nuno Santos had his pockets picked there. Marcelo Oyende is dropping deeper and deeper. And Remo Stars are pressing higher and higher. Sundowns finding a way through. Mokoena. And they do play it really nicely. Patience and passing accuracy, the name of the game for Sundowns so far, getting them out of sticky situations. As for Remo Stars, their previous CAF Champions League collision was, in fact, only 3 weeks ago, and took the form of a first-round preliminary qualifier. Mamelodi Sundowns' previous CAF Champions League collision was the grand finale itself. So you can say Sundowns have the pedigree, and they are playing with real good belief so far. Peter Shalulile has run with intent. Modiba has looked fit as a fiddle again, after what has been also a little bit of a slow and staggered start to the season for him. But the Mamelodi Sundowns call slowly starting to come together with a few new additions and actors. Marcelo Oyende. Miguel Rezinho, his debut for Sundowns lasted a total of about 6 minutes before he was given his marching orders in the match against Marumo Gallants in the Carling knockout. Rezinho was sent off in that one. He's got some defending to do here, but Mokoena is there for Sundowns. Wisely stationed. Marcelo Oyende has also played a tremendous amount of football for Sundowns since he joined the club about 3 years ago now, and is rarely a victim to the Mamelodi Sundowns rotation system, is Marcelo Oyende. Mudal. Mokoena. Oyende is stripped by Adama Goita. Allende just standing on the ball, thinking about possible options he can explore and exploit. Here's Keanu Cupido. The last time Cupido played a match of this kind was for Cape Town City not too long ago, but to no success. This looks promising for the hosts, for the local Stars, for Remo Stars. All of the sting in that shot taken out. Unlike Remo Stars, Sundowns were not subject to a first-round preliminary qualifier, but they were embroiled in other battles. As for the hosts, they made light work of Comorian club Zilimaju, scoring 5 goals over 2 legs and conceding none. Abubakar with a neat piece of skill and not the cross that was desired. Warren Williams has constantly looked for Peter Shalulile. Sometimes he's found him, sometimes that defense of Remo Stars has been a little bit more sharper. But that wasn't from the goalkeeper, Serge Obasa. There's the coach, Tiago Frias, the technical advisor of the team as well, who just like Miguel Cardoso, hails from Portugal. So you've got 2 Portuguese tacticians. And the second yellow card of the game for Mamelodi Sundowns to Nuno Santos for what I assume him taking his time. That was exactly it. Usually the fullback does take the throw in, so Nuno Santos was just waiting for Khalisu Mudau, but it took a little bit too long. This time the call going in favour of the Brazilians. And on occasion, it has started to get a little bit feisty. Mudau went high there, thought about it, and then he pulled out of the challenge, it seems like. Stern words exchanged by the referee to that man, Ngenge. Seems like it's a final warning for him. Caution with the yellow card, but a final warning, judging by the referee's tone. An opportunity lies ahead for Sundowns. A set-piece challenge for Remo Stars. Miguel Cardoso realizes the value of winning a match like this one, for starting a CAF Champions League campaign successfully. That's a great delivery, a great header, and a phenomenal. Nearly goal number 1 for Mamelodi Sundowns for Miguel Rezinho, if it weren't for that man dressed in red. He was beaten all ends up by that Tashrik Matthews stunner, but that time around, he was flexible and alert. Can Marcelo Allende deliver it on a dime again? Here the Chilean goes. Not a bad delivery. Falls back to Matthews, who tickles it back to Mudau. Quick little 1-2 there between Abubakar and Alex Owoya. Warren Williams has seen a lot of the football in the opening 40 minutes or so. Marcelo Allende picking that one up from Nuno Santos, unable to drive Sundowns any further. Sundowns seeking a response from their shocking Carling Knockouts Cup exit. But they had some time over the international window to study some of their shortcomings in that match. And it seems like they are putting them to use in this one. But Remo Stars carry a consistent, dangerous threat, especially on the counter. When Mamelodi Sundowns might be caught napping, Mudau was caught out there. Cupido, with a clearance that doesn't go very far. Here's a strike from range. A strike that ended up closer to the corner flag than to Ronan Williams' goal. But Remo Stars very much in this brawl. And they need to make it a bit of a brawl, Scotty, if they are to deliver a seismic upset and come back here against Mamelodi Sundowns.
Eminyaka eselula yabo ibingathi sabasebenzela ukuqala komdlalo kuba bebekhawuleza bebechitha bafike kuqala kune Mamelodi Sundowns ebholeni ngakumbi amehlo apha kwindoda iforoso Adama Goita 19 leminyaka kuphela indoda yaseMali okanti omnye umdlali waseMali indoda edlala esuswini uChaka Koulibaly unozinti liqala laseBenin iminyaka ngama-29 beyibonakalisa ke lonto namhlanje kuba ke sesindise iqela lakhe iRemo Stars isihlandlo zade zasibini apho besesithi yabhala iSundowns badlala abangengo baseNigeria baqalela umdlalo namhlanje bathathu ngabo sesibabalile kunozinti uObasa waseBenin ibe indodana uKoulibaly yaseMali ibe nguGoita shiya lo bhola ephuma ngapha entethethe uba izaba ikora kick captain wanamhlanje walo iqela layo iRemo Stars indoda bengakhange idlale kumdlalo wabo wokugqibela Peter Shalulile ibhola ehle yabizwa ngaphakathi emnatheni iSundowns igqibile inkibizelo eNigeria ngoku ngamanqaku 2 eqandeni inqaku elilula uyakhala uObasa ngasemva englo umuntu umangela balize njani na ibench yeSundowns ixolile ufikile uPeter Shalulile awufikile wenza into ayaziyo wenza into ayiqhelileyo into ayaziyo kubona umnatha washiwa phezu kwebhola yathi yamtyhala indoda uPeter Shalulile kanti selibekile inqina uAnthony eBhuka uthe ebeka esithi uyamsunduza uyamtyhiliza angafiki ebholeni kanti inqina likaPeter Shalulile selifikile kulo bhola unozinti ebesephumile palini ebeselahlekile wabheka ngasekhohlo kanti ibhola iza ngasekunene mabili amanqaku kwiMamelodi Sundowns kwakwisiqingatha sokuqala somdlalo iyona nto bebeyifuna ke leyo ukuba ngaba ayikwazi ukuphendula iRemo Stars sebenziswa nje idiniso kumabala seLoftus kwiveke ezayo kebuho uhlale ibhola enhle Sundowns isebenzisa amava into yenziwa ngabadlali beRemo Stars babaleka kakhulu iSundowns into abayaziyo accurate passing ibhola yakulo muntu unxiba ijezi emthubi nabona ngokuyiqala phansi Mutiba ayibekela le bhola wayende nansi into abayaziyo babeka ibhola bona bafuna bayiRemo Stars babaleke ngaphezulu kwebhola nansi nangoku ibhola beyilopha bazathini ku-50-50 yayithatha lula iSundowns ayithatha lula la bhola uCupido babonakalisa amava ngoku iSundowns akusekho gxabhagxabhisa benze njalo bakuyeke ixesha elide apho basuke khona lebhola jonge nje uTebu atsala ibhola ende ufuna phambili uTesh Matthews bethe kumadoda eRemo Stars lo bhola Kotha mayiphoswa ngesandla iSundowns. Mutawu. Pase mfutshane nenhle. Aqala eza passes. Yahlala kwasapokotha iSundowns. Siyomzakalisa. Mutawu. Wayosula le ibhola. Abafana beRemo Stars ngathi baza kunikwa izifundo zamahala namhlanje. Baza kunikwa izifundo zamahala. Free lessons. Kwakhona iSundowns phezu kwebhola. Yona nto bebefunela nqaku lesibini. Ngoku balifumene la nqaku lesibini, bathi masiphumle phezu kwebhola. Elesithathu yaba ibonus. Yaba igwaxaza. Santos siza nebhola kwimizuzu emithathu. Asinikwa ngosompempe. Marcelo Ayende. Cenga lo bhola Miguel Silva. How's the short passes? Yaphakanyisa la bhola uPeter Shalulile akafikanga phezu kwayo. Waphuma kuqala uNozinti wafika. Wafika kuqala uBhasi sebethwe. Amanqaku amahle amabini eMamelodi Sundowns kanti akhona amabini awavalileyo. Xa ufake amanqaku amaninzi kude nekhaya. iSundowns noba ingafika bayidlala u-0-0 eLoftus bayedlula. Ngaphandle baba ngafika eLoftus badlale iRemo Stars ifaka amanqaku amabini eqandeni leSundowns. Kodwa ngiqonda iSundowns uzophela lo mdlalo besefaka amanqaku amabini lesithathu liyeza. Ubala ufika nini kocaca. Kuba ilanqaku lesibini livele xa ebiseyizimisela ba iyahlasela iRemo Stars. Egqiba ufumana ikora kick iSundowns yaxhutula lo bhola yayibeka phambili kuPeter Shalulile. Ekhe ingena indoda isithi yamtyhiliza uAnthony Ebuka wabedlulile uPeter Shalulile selifakile inqini ebholeni. Cenga lo bhola iRemo. Khumbule istriker sabo Adama Goita lishumi lethoba leminyaka ithuba lihle wasebenza namhlanje. Wow, nozinto Sundowns. Ronwen Williams. Ithuba ibilibhaqile iRemo Stars. Sompempe unika ifree kick kwiSundowns badlale kabuhlungu uAubrey Modiba. Sesingena kumzuzu wokugqibela. Yellow card yaphuma. Antsoko Sompempe ukuba aphume ekhupeza yellow card zintathu zokuqala. Umdlalo ngoku uyakwazi ukulawula. Kubuqala komdlalo bekuhlatyahlatshwana kabuhlungu. Free kick iza kususwa nguCupid ngasemva. Sundowns bayicenga kakuhle ibhola esazulwini sebala. Sompempe namla. Irage kaTebuho ke le. Le free kick angavala ngayo isiqingatha sokuqala. Angavala ngayo isiqingatha sokuqala. USompempe wathi akazuvala ngayo. Yawuchitha umdlalo. Uphelile umdlalo imizuzu emithathu. Ebeligoxaza beselinikwe ngoSompempe. Fikelela esiphelweni ngoku saphela isiqingatha sokuqala. Abadlali beRemo Stars besiya uAlex Young esiya kuSompempe sithi khangicacisele ngezinye izinto. uSompempe uthi ayicacile le into. iSundowns iphezu kwenu amava awekho. Yiyo loo nto sisho sithi iSundowns inkqenkqeza phambili ngamanqaku amabini 2-0 uphela kwesiqingatha sokuqala.
When tragedy strikes and your community gathers from far and wide at your home to help with the cooking, wash the blankets, and pull out the mattresses, Sikona, we are here.
We are here when Umalume chooses the right animal to honor a full life, ensuring sacrifice is intentional and dignified. For over 30 years, we've been part of your community for every life well lived, from the night vigil right through to the unveiling, showing through our actions. Sikhona, we are here.
As members of your community, we know that every contribution goes a long way in ensuring the success of a funeral, which is why the clientele funeral plans are here for you, with up to 500,000 rand family cover.
When the important calls to family and friends need to be made and the groceries to feed them need to be bought, Sikhona. SMS Sikhona to 47518 and we'll call you back. SMS now.
When planning a funeral, every ritual is important, which is why there's no delay, so that you and yours can focus on what's most important, giving loved ones a dignified send-off together.
I would recommend clientele excellent service. Within 24 hours, the money was in my account.
Clientele helped me all the way, and there was even enough money left to help the close family members. Clientele is like family.
The claims process was very fast and efficient, and my brother's burial was dignified. Clientele is the name you can trust.
It takes a community to lay someone to rest. Play your part. SMS today, and we'll be there for you and yours when you need us.
Get peace of mind with a clientele funeral plan, Sikhona, for our communities since 1992. SMS Sikhona to 47518 and we'll call you back. SMS now.
Glenn Sharp, what's the use of a TV license? Is it so they can spy on us?
Go, go, we want go. Go, go, we want go.
Ah, it's for propaganda. Is it for gossiping? The TV license isn't just a payment. It's a promise. A promise to keep our stories alive and our talent shining bright.
Renew your TV license today and be part of the story. Visit www.tvlic.co.za or your nearest retail outlet. Your screen, your story.
And a confirmation of the score line at the MKO Abiola Sports Complex in Nigeria after 45 minutes of action. It is South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns that lead the Remo Stars by 2-0. Two crucial away goals for Masanda Wana. Tashreikh Matthews finding the opener, and just before the half-time break, it was that man once again, Shasha, finding the second goal for Mamelodi Sundowns. Let's take a look now at some of those key talking points coming through from the first half of action, because it was from quite early on, Hlampo, that we see Mamelodi Sundowns just trying to dominate and say we want to walk out of this with the results.
The good thing that Mamelodi Sundowns is doing in this team is to be patient on the ball, and they try by all means to be closer to one another when they play this combination. What I like about this move here is the fact that they managed to even play that longer pass or behind the last line of Remo Stars defenders. Of course, good composure from Santos. One can say Matthews there could have been done better in terms of the rebound and make sure that they still dribbles in the box, because you need your attackers to make sure that they still have this moment of patience in the box. But this was a good move, and this was one of the moments where Sundowns showed that they took the game to Remo Stars.
Indeed, and in this moment here from a goalkeeping point of view, Obasa was very lucky that Mamelodi Sundowns wasn't able to capitalize on that second ball.
I disagree with you, V. He's not lucky. As goalkeepers,
it didn't hit the back of the net.
No, we prepare for such situations. And for him to go, you can see he overstretched to make sure he gets to the end of that ball. And what I like the most about that save, he parried the ball to the side, not back onto the field. Because if you see the picture properly, Shalulile was standing by himself. So if any goalkeeper doesn't parry the ball to the side and he parries it back to the field while you're still down, there's someone coming for the rebound. So that was a great save.
And he's lucky that Matthews didn't finish the job there. Let's take a look at then some of those other key talking points coming through, because for Mamelodi Sundowns was just setting their dominance quite early on. But just 2 minutes later from that, Tashreeq Matthews, who's been on such a purple patch, opens the scoring.
You see, when I look at how they managed to counter press after losing the ball, that was good to see Mamelodi Sundowns losing the ball, and eventually they even took the ball. When you look at this pass from Marcelo Lande, it was evident that they wanted to make sure that they are compact in their approach, and they make sure that they cover shorter spaces in terms of defending. Tash with that left foot, we always want to see him taking a lot of shot outside the box, because you would easily say, where is this shot in some matches? Because when you look at here, where after losing the ball, they make sure that closer to one another, and it allows them to have that what we call counter press. They didn't win the ball from there, because if they didn't win it, it was always going to be 1v1 and at the back. But after winning it, look at where Tash is occupying the space. He's aware that he's alone. Look at him, he's walking. And on his receive, he's always looking forward. And for him to be brave to take that shot, I must say kudos, because in some matches, one will look to pass Peter and then the chance is gone. Because if you miss pass there, the intercept, you wasted a lot of energy making sure that you get into the opposition's half.
And what I like about this goal, V, it reminds me of Mbata's goal. You saw the touch.
Oh, yes.
You shift the defender away from where you want to be as a player. And how he took that shot with his weaker foot, he went across the goalkeeper. And when you go across the goalkeeper, anything can happen. If the goalkeeper doesn't parry the ball, he tries to save it, and it bounces off his hands. There's always someone coming for the rebound. So he did exactly what I expect a striker or a forward to do. Hitting the ball across the goalkeeper is never easy.
All right, a beautiful goal there coming through from Tashreeq Matthews. Remo Stars, we didn't see them much on the attack in this encounter, but this here, just before the half-hour mark, was one of the opportunities that they created.
V, I've been counting since the game started. These guys are playing with crosses. Sundowns better be switched on when they play the ball wide. They have to make sure they have a blocking player. They have a player marking the penalty spot, because the goalkeeper can deal with this area. And they have a player also marking at the back post, because that's their strength.
Yeah.
I've counted 7 crosses in the first half only.
Yeah.
And Sundowns has dealt with them. But they are showing that that's their intention, that's their game plan, and that's how they want to catch Sundowns.
Now, a player that we didn't get to see from this Mamelodi Sundowns side, Miguel Razinho, coming up against Maruma Gallants, he got an opportunity as well in this clash, just building up after that goal in the 38th minute. Yeah, let's talk to this moment.
This was a free header, and I must say a great save for the goalkeeper. One would say in some moment when you are lucky, in some matches, this is supposed to be a goal. But of course, a good save from the goalkeeper. And I do believe that Resines should be a player that we always see on the ball, especially that is still new in this Mamelodi Sundowns system. We want to show that he's capable, he can be trusted with the ball. But I do know that when you're playing away in Nigeria, in that artificial pitch, obviously there will be moments where you're struggling a little bit. But I do want to see him a lot on the ball, just to show us as Mamelodi Sundowns what he's capable of doing in terms of, making sure that he's got that final pass. I do believe that there are a lot of their teammates speaking highly of him in terms of he's got an eye for goals. We don't want to see that in matches like this.
Mamelodi Sundowns. Peter Shalulile, a man that makes his way back into the starting 11 for this Mamelodi Sundowns side. I mean, what more could you ask for?
A long ball behind the defense. Shalulile showing good strength to find himself in front of the defender, because if he's inside the box, like all the coaches will tell you, you are a king when you're inside the box as a striker. Any touch is a penalty. So I think Shalulile, with his experience, he did extremely well by making sure he puts his body in front of the defender, and the defender had no choice but to foul him or to let him go. And the goalkeeper was meant to help the defender from the blushes, but unfortunately, he was out of position, out of his goalpost. He didn't know where he was, hence he couldn't make a diving save.
All right, Remo Stars did have another opportunity towards the end of the first half, but nothing that they could convert into them officially recording their name onto that score sheet. Coach Thiago Conde will be looking at this first half discussion and just wondering what he can do differently in the second half. We speak to that and the substitutions after the break.
When tragedy strikes and your community gathers from far and wide at your home to help with the cooking, wash the blankets, and pull out the mattresses, Sikona, we are here.
We are here when Umalume chooses the right animal to honor a full life, ensuring its sacrifice is intentional and dignified. For over 30 years, we've been part of your community for every life well lived, from the night vigil right through to the unveiling, showing through our actions. Sikona, we are here.
As members of your community, we know that every contribution goes a long way in ensuring the success of a funeral, which is why the clientele funeral plans are here for you, with up to 500,000 rand family cover.
When the important calls to family and friends need to be made and the groceries to feed them need to be bought, Sikona. SMS Sikona to 47518 and we'll call you back. SMS now.
When planning a funeral, every ritual is important, which is why there's no delay, so that you and yours can focus on what's most important, giving loved ones a dignified send-off together.
I would recommend clientele excellent service. Within 24 hours, the money was in my account.
Clientele helped me all the way, and there was even enough money left to help the close family members. Clientele is like family.
The claims process was very fast and efficient. My brother's burial was dignified. Clientele is the name you can trust.
It takes a community to lay someone to rest. Play your part. SMS today, and we'll be there for you and yours when you need us.
Get peace of mind with a clientele funeral plan, Sikona, for our communities since 1992. SMS Sikona to 47518 and we'll call you back. SMS now.
At Betway, we don't just reward you for playing, we reward you for staying. Introducing Betway Rewards. Earn points on every bet you place. It's that simple. You can also convert your points to cash whenever you like. With Betway, loyalty always pays off. Join the action today and start earning points.
It is South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns, certainly in the driving seat in this CAF Champions League encounter, leading by 2-0 against the Remo Stars of Nigeria. 2 crucial away goals that they scored. But let's speak to the second half. Masibheka iqembu le-Remo Stars nomqeqeshi uTiago Conde yini ekumele bayenze ngendlela ehlukile to give themselves a chance?
I think for them is to try by all means to stick to their game plan. Itu counted 7 of their crosses that came to Mamelodi Sundowns box. If they continue to do that, of course, with a lot of numbers that they put into the box, I don't see a lot of Koulibaly, I don't see a lot of Ekinyele, I don't see a lot of Mboma, where we spoke about as a 20-year-old who's supposed to be carrying this team in terms of energy. I don't see Alex as well. It's supposed to be the players that really pushing Mamelodi Sundowns back. But the Mamelodi Sundowns team, I think the one thing that they're doing well is to make sure that they defend with the ball.
Speaking about Mamelodi Sundowns, quickly I want to touch on their bench and what changes they can make. We see the youngster Khumuli Mokekana, a man that scored the winning goal for South Africa in the under-20 AFCON, on the bench as well. What changes do they make at which point in the second half?
I think Sundowns suffered a blow. Malebonga Khoza was forcibly substituted because of the injury, and Grant Kekana came in as the only center defender. So they don't have anyone that they can bring on to close shop. But all they can do is to give the game until 60th minute and start making changes going forward so that they can get more goals if push come to shove. But they are comfortable with 2-0, but they can still get more goals and they can still put firepower, because you can see on the bench they've got Mutiba and Chabeling, Bio Lekaku, creative players who can give them more opportunities to score more goals. But for now, let's not fix what's not broken.
All right, let's take you to the second 45 minutes of action. We do still have Ngesikhosa, Umtutuzeli Scott, as well as Reynard Kuhn in English.
Thank you, Buziwe. We are back for the second half here in Ogun State. Mamelodi Sundowns kicking us off for the second stanza. Remo Stars and the Brazilians are at the doorstep of the CAF Champions League. Mamelodi Sundowns with 1 foot in the competition already, but the story is far from over. What will the nature of Remo Stars' response be? We know for the travellers, for Mamelodi Sundowns, the CAF Champions League is a constant, a competition they relish, and qualification is deemed as a non-negotiable. But for Remo Stars, CAF Champions League qualification remains a bit of a distant dream. Unless they can change that now. Ronwen Williams forced down low. The ball did head rather slowly towards his goal. Already 2 front foot passes, 2 front foot attacks by Remo Stars to kick this second half off. They need to try and find a way to stifle Mamelodi Sundowns in any which way they can. The first half, as we know, offered 2 goals, yellow cards galore, a bit of the shoe shine style as well from Sundowns, and a lot of Remo Stars toughness. Let's see what we're going to get in this second passage. Chaka Koulibaly over the top and over the head of Kulisu Mudau. The chase is on for Abubakar. He delivers, and it evades everyone in the middle. The international break did deliver on all of the right notes. 9 African states are 2026 World Cup bound. But today, club duty, continental duty has come calling. And so far, Mamelodi Sundowns have answered. Shalulile, Rezinho, to Mokoena. Just a word on Mokoena. He's played in the Under-20 World Cup, the Olympic Games, Africa Cup of Nations, and in a few years' time, the FIFA World Cup. So he's starting to put together some resume. Block that shot. The chance is still very much there for Remo Stars. Peter Shalulile does ever so well. Nuno Santos. He's got Abubakar and Anthony Donwa for company. Mudiba passes and goes. Tashreeq Matthews. What a stunning goal he scored in the first half. It does go without saying that at his current rate, Tashreeq Matthews looks likely to set a new personal record in terms of goal scoring for Sundowns this season. Cupro needed to be careful. Ahmed Akinyele is on the ground. It's actually Adama Goita. Still nursing that knock. Kulisu Mudau, shot, not stop. Still Mudau goes for Sundowns. No need to pass the ball to Peter Shalulile. Looks for someone in the middle. And it nearly fell to Nuno Santos again. Nobody laid a glove on Mudau. He was able to get close to the box. He delivered. Sundowns ever so close to number 3. Wanted for some desperate recovery and some fortune. Make no mistake about it, this is a tough CAF Champions League qualifier. In the one corner, the reigning champions of the Betway Premiership. In the other corner, the 2-time reigning champions of the local Nigerian Premier League. The champions are contenders today as Modiba delivers. Dangerously so. Santos just whacked that one against Chaka Koulibaly. Shalulile makes the steal. He did incredibly well in the latter stages of the first half to stay on his feet, stay composed to score Sundowns' second of the game, their second away goal. Sundowns so far are looking likely to be the only South African team this weekend in their Champions League / Confederation Cup preliminary round qualifier. Chiefs drew, Stellenbosch shared the spoils as well. 2 decent results away from home, but Orlando Pirates have it all to do next weekend. 3 goals down they are. Far from in control, unlike Mamelodi Sundowns so far today. Over the top again, just a bridge too far. Tumelenkune warned about the crosses. It hasn't taken them long to deliver a few deliveries in there. Miguel Silva, Rizinho, Marcelo Allende chests it down and then gets it back from Nuno Santos. Peter Shalulile just got ahead of him. And now the crowd sense this opportunity. There was good defensive work there off the ball. A bit of the dark arts by Grant Kekana just to step in the way of the runner, being Adama Goita. Right there. Matthews, very close to the line, but he plays it ever so well, and then he's denied the opportunity to pull the trigger, not only by the sliding tackle, but the offside flag. Now, the last time Sundowns encountered a Nigerian foe was about 6 years ago, and that last time was in the group stage of the 2018-2019 edition of the Champions League. Sundowns defeated and were defeated by Mamelodi Stars in those 2 group matches. And interestingly, at the end of last season in the domestic Nigerian Premier League, Mamelodi Stars were relegated. Matthews, Shalulile, they are finding themselves in acres of space. Matthews looks to dance his way through all by himself. The pass option was on, not only for him, but for Peter Shalulile as well, to pick up Aubrey Modiba on the other side. Mudau has it again. Allende always seems to be in control, despite his diminutive stature. Modiba taking a bit of inspiration from his opposite flanker. Kekana goes back to his goalkeeper. Must be in heaven right now after a historic week for Bafana Bafana. Can they use that Bafana Bafana fire to fuel them in the CAF Champions League? We know that the World Cup qualification journey is also not yet over for Nigeria. They are looking to take the longer way around. But it's always enticing when Nigerian opposition face South African opposition for club or country. It is compelling as ever. And Scotty, so far, Sundowns look to be in control. 2-0 here. We know that they won the last preliminary round qualifier by 8 goals to 0. So let's see where this will go.
Sompempe wathi umdlalo mawuqhubeke alele phansi amadoda eSundowns athi amabini ngoku iRemo Stars isephezu kwebhola cengwa isenta back uLeonard Ngenge eNigeria xa kuthethwa ngeqela lesizwe laseNigeria bastrongo ngeyona ndlela kodwa xa kufikwa kulena icompetition ye-Champions League ababonakali ndawo kuba uninzi labadlali baseNigeria beqela lesizwe abadlali eNigeria badlala kumazwe angaphandle ninzi lwabo luse-Europe. Qela laseNigeria bandikhumbula kakuhle lake laphumelela i-Champions League linye liphumelela izihlandlo ezibini iqela le-Enyimba elayiphumelelayo i-Champions League ngo-2003 nango-2004 ukanti eMzantsi Afrika amaqela mabini aphumelele i-Champions League yi-Orlando Pirates kunye neMamelodi Sundowns. Nigeria hlandlo zibini kodwa iqela linye. iSundowns ingathi ayikoneli ngalamanqaku mabini bayalifuna nelesithathu. Into enzekayo ngoku kwiSundowns i-competition ikubadlali beSundowns bakhuphisana kulwelwa ijezi. Uzikhumbule uShasha uPeter Shalulile umbiza kaMandovi uthe azafumana elithuba lokuqala umdlalo namhlanje. iCram Rainers akangakwazi ukuza neqela leSundowns kwelaseNigeria ngenxa yeemeko ezithile kwafuneka ashiyeke eMzantsi Afrika. Yiyo loo nto mhlawumbi besizawubona kuqala yena kodwa ke kuye kwaqala uPeter Shalulile endaweni yakhe awugqiba uqala uPeter Shalulile wafaka inqaku. Madoda amanintsi eSundowns awekho Jaden Adams ababonakala indawo abekho kwiSundowns kodwa ngeke ubone umahluko. Abadlali balwela ijezi zabo ngoku ukuba ubani akazifumani. Madodana amanintsi Mamelodi Sundowns abuya kwimidlalo yeqela lesizwe uqala kunozinti kanye uRonin Williams. Midlalo kule season seyiqabele ngapha kwewaka elinekhulu lemizuzu edlala. Thatha ixesha lakhe ngoku uyazi uba iSundowns yiyo ephetheyo. Sompempe uthi susa ibhola nozinti weSundowns wayiphakamisa. Cengwa la bhola kuzaba nzinyana i-technical advisor engumkhaya womqeqeshi weMamelodi Sundowns indodana uTiago Conde, technical advisor yeqela la iRemo Stars besitsho sithi into sijongileyo nabafana bakhe abaselula ngeminyaka kuba bakhawuleze bayithi qwaka bayibeke ecaleni iSundowns kodwa icon ayenzeki loo nto. Jonge nje indlela abayiqala kakuhle ngayo iSundowns ibhola ngasemva akhwapho bangxamele khona. Bajonga nje umdlali ofree bambona buyedwa bapasa ibhola bayithatha naleni ibhola. Jonge nje uthesha indlela ipase ngayo kakuhle la bhola. Peter Shalulile ngaphakathi eboxini wafuna i-angle yamvalelwa ayibuyisela ngasemva. Badlala ngomsebenzi Mamelodi Sundowns yadlala ngomsebenzi. Ibhola ibiqalwe kakuhle kangaka bayalifuna inqaku lesithathu. Khawuleza lo bhola kwafuneka uba uChigozi ayibuyisele ngasemva. Free kick eMamelodi Sundowns. Bahlabe uMarcelo Ayende usadlala kakuhle ke namhlanje bangabalinge bamcaphukise kuba ubuke bamcaphukise uzawufumana ikhadi. Ubuke wabuyisa izitya uzawufumana ikhadi. Bamhlale kabuhlungu Sompempe wamthethelela. Sompempe waseMorocco waseCameroon xabe khawuleze awunqanda umdlalo kwakwisiqingatha sokuqala ubuza uba ubusowuhlakahlaka bekuhlatywana kabuhlungu wade wakhupha amakhadi amathathu elandelelana. Sifuna ubona uplan D weRemo Stars. sifuna ingathi basadlala ngala plan A bebedlala ngayo awuqala komdlalo iSundowns ngokuyona ayisabaleki into ebalekayo ibhola jonge nje indlela ebunjwa ngayo uqala ngasemva Grant Keka Hlabo wayibeka kakuhle phambili la bhola wafika uSela wayikhupha phakathi kwamilenze endoda wajongana nozinti wapasa ibhola enhlusela lelesithathu 3-0 Zuzu amashumi mathandathu ananye 61st minute ipasisi ezinhle zeMamelodi Sundowns ipasisi ezinhle unozinto ulahlekile madoda afika iSundowns yaqala yabhalisa inqaku layo lokuqala uSela umuthawu wathi zakunika mntanami ubhalisa igama lakho kwiSundowns yakhala indoda yeSundowns wakhala uMiguel Silva wathi niqeshiwe wathi umsebenzi nje ufumene piano nishisha nje piano nishusha shusha ile piano 3-0 iSundowns ithethelele iOrlando Pirates hayi abalandeli ngoku sebebukele nje indlela iSundowns edlala ngayo sebebukele nje indlela iSundowns edlala ngayo ngoku benza i-double substitution abafana bayo iRemo Stars litshonile la bathe bakhupha nendoda edlala kakuhle i-right back yabo uBubaka tshintsha kubadlali babili manqaku ebhodini yabhekela iSundowns ingawafaka namahlanu ngoku ngoba iRemo Stars ingathi ayisabonakalisi ukuziphendulela oqala komdlalo kula mizuzu ilishumi lesihlanu oqala komdlalo bebesenza into ezinhle baphazanyiswe ngulamzuzu weshumi lambini welanqaku lika Matthews ngoku ingathi izaba nguhola wendlela engathi izaba ngu-N1 osinda kwelasePitoli thumela ngasemva uTebo womukwena lo bhola ba mayoqalwa ngunozinti ezabhola zinti distributions zakhe asekhonde namhlanje upasa nje ibhola kumdlalo lapha phambi kwakhe khona umdlalo lele kabuhlungu phezu kwe-touchline weMamelodi Sundowns ofike kabuhlungu Sompempe nguye ozayo ezokhangela uba undonakele buphi na Remo Stars kunzinya i-technical advisor seyihleli phansi iRemo Stars ngoku indoda eseyiphakamile nguDaniel ngokwakhe ifuthe lobushushu ebelungamandla aluyenzanga nto iSundowns into ethetha ukuba isiqhelo sawuphinde senzeke kwiqela layo iRemo Stars kuba baphelela kulena imidlalo bangakange bade bafike kwimidlalo ye-group stages baphelela apha nanamhlanje iSundowns seyibabonisa uba niyaphelela apho uhambulweni kodwa ke kuzawufuneke niyile eLoftus kule vekzayo noba kungathiwani na mhlalo zabo uphathelwe yi-SABC Sport nalowo njengalona wakhwesha uTebo wona ebhola yayipasa ngokwayiRemo la bhola wafika phezu kwayo uMatthews wayisika uMatthews wabeka ibhola ehle lithuba elihle leSundowns la uzakohlwaya ke ngoku uzakohlwaya ke ngoku uNuno une-yellow card uSantos alumkele athula ukunyathela une-yellow card kuba injongo zakhe ayikange kube udlala ibhola uvele waye emntwini nje awuvele waye emntwini wamgudla sengathi elixesha lahambi kwiRemo Stars nabalandeli bayo bathule bathe cwaka bayiqonda uba kunogumbe lo imvula engenasiqabu kuba iSundowns iyalifuna neli nqaku lesine hayi bo Matthews indoda ihlala ifumane ne-red card uMatthews kodwa ngoku sikumzuzu amashumi mathandathu anesihlanu sekukufutshane ngaphambili Ray amanqaku mathathu kwi-Sundowns 3-0.
Owen Williams forced into making a stop, forced into tickling that one over the crossbar. Instinctive strike by the substitute, Theo Gibson. That one might have just been dipping underneath. Owen Williams wasn't to know. Remo Stars not quite out of the picture just yet, but Sundowns very much where they want to be. Massive appeals on the field and in the stands for a possible handball or some other kind of infringement. No penalty for Remo Stars. They're going to have to do it the traditional way. 3 goals down against the South African champions, last year's CAF Champions League finalists. Ngenge runs out of room. The scoreline is evidence of the Sundowns' pedigree in Africa. The Brazilians so often enter unfamiliar, hostile, humid conditions in this competition and make it look easy. They are also hoping to qualify for the CAF Champions League for the 10th season running. Remo Stars, can they have another say? That was a very close call. Possibly their most dangerous cross of the second half. And there was a touch there from a Sundowns player, might have been Mokoena, just to tow it beyond any kind of danger. But Remo Stars starting to pick up the pace now. They've only started to pick up the pace after falling to a 3-goal deficit. That's a sloppy pass. Allende is going to profit. Mike Matthews, the answer is no. Shalulile will. Nuno Santos finds Matthews. Can he find his second? Looks to again dance his way through all by himself. He's got another chance. Does Matthews? This time finds Modiba, who drops the shoulder and chops it back in. And teases the Remo Stars captain. Matthews does the same to Modiba, who's eventually crowded out by blue shirts. Blue shirts that are yet to break through the ceiling that is the CAF preliminary round playoffs. Remo Stars tried in 2023. They tried even harder in 2024, but they are yet to cross the threshold into the CAF Champions League competition proper. Once they do that, their potential can be limitless. But for now, they've been overrun by Mamelodi Sundowns. Mogun Modede watching on as another Sundowns player looks to be in a bit of trouble. Miguel Cardoso has been calling for a little bit more protection of his players throughout this match. And changes. Letlaku, the youngster. Sales, a man that has found his feet in Sundowns Brazilian colours. So Miguel Rezinho makes his way off the park after scoring his first goal for Masandawana. His debut ended after 6 minutes, ended in a red card. His second match ends with a goal. That's just the nature of the beautiful game. So Sundowns 3 to the good. And Adama Goita offside. Part of the allure of the CAF Champions League is big clubs meeting for the first time. Domestic champions squaring off for the first time. And this has been the icebreaker meeting for Remo Stars and Mamelodi Sundowns. Speaking of ice, chance to cool off and catch a drink for the players. Remo Stars were starting to find their feet. They were starting to find some rhythm. Only for a stoppage to be called by the referee, Abdel Mefire, who has not been shy, dishing out yellow cards this afternoon. And there's the head coach of Remo Stars, Daniel Ogun Modere, for the better part of a decade. Coach Daniel has been integral to the Remo Stars project. It's had a special place in his heart since his inception, since the club's inception. As for Peter Shalulile there, the man just hiding behind the face of Mokoena, he scored 3 CAF Champions League goals, 3 crucial CAF Champions League goals last season. Found his first this season back in the first half. Scores wherever he goes, Peter Shalulile. Smiles for Tashreeq Matthews. Getting a handshake from Fabio Fernandes and Steve Kopela. Sundowns might have been knocked out of the Carling knockout of the MTN8 earlier this season as well, but they still reside at the very summit of the Betway Premiership. And looking certain to qualify for the CAF Champions League for the 10th time in a row. Still football to be played against Remo Stars, however. But what a commanding position to be in. Qualifiers can be so tricky so often. Hasn't proved to be so for Sundowns this afternoon so far. It could change here! Off the crossbar! Then the acrobatic and then the header goes over. Remo Stars have been hiding this all match long. That ball was kept in just about. Ronwen Williams was beaten and hoping, simply hoping that his crossbar was going to come and save the day. So it proved. In the opposite direction now, Mudau for Sales. He's not going to keep that one in, and he's tackled and he lands on the tar. Sales hasn't scored in the CAF Champions League, so he'll be itching for a continental contribution. Great from the goalkeeper again, from Serge Obasa, inviting the pressure from Peter Shalulile, who is a workhorse of note when it comes to off-the-ball pressing. He's been relentless today. Sundowns have been relentless. Sundowns also did feature in 6 Champions League clashes outside of South Africa last season. And they went to extremely hostile locations in Tunisia, Cairo, and Rabat as well. There are only a few other teams that can travel like Mamelodi Sundowns can travel on the African continent. Mudau. Fake header there by Nuno Santos. Peter Shalulile waiting for it. Santos. Sales! Not denied by the goalkeeper. Sales scores his first continental goal for Mamelodi Sundowns. It's been a rip-roaring display by the Mamelodi Matadors this afternoon on unfamiliar terrain. They are starting to put on a show, and put Remo Stars to the sword. Unforgiving stuff. Nuno Santos with a wise layup. Sales stinging the palms of the goalkeeper, who would feel that he could have, should have done better than that. Scotty.
Yeah, hi. Ngacinga Ray lento izayisebenzela iqela leRemo Stars. Ukhumbula uba iligi yaseNigeria idlalwa ngamaqela angamashumi-mabini. Into ethetha ukuba yimarathon iligi yaseNigeria. Basekwindawo yeshumi lesithathu. Le nto iyakubenza noko benze amalungiselelo angawo. Ukhumbule bebeqala ukuyibhaqa iligi kwisizini ephelileyo, kodwa ke baphume kwindawo yesibini isizini zambini zide zilandelelana. Eyona nto idanisayo uba uDaniel Ogunmodede, i-assistant coach ye-Super Eagles yeqela lesizwe laseNigeria, uyawazi la madoda e-Sundowns. Bekumele uba wenze bhetele ukuwaqulela. Bekumele bewenze bhetele ukuwaqulela kuba ngoku nogumbe nalo ithuba layo. Remo Stars bayigoba lo bhola, bayibeke emnatheni lobika ekhaya. Yambetha la bola uRonnie Williams, yambetha la bola uRonnie Williams. The soup Dr. Sundowns Samson. Ebesele yedwa ngasemva uCupido udonga lokugqibela leSundowns. Okrankekana bafike sekwaphulwe. Ecaca ngoku amandla ayetha kwiqela leMamelodi Sundowns ngenxa yobushushu obukhoyo kwelibala. Mane amanqaku kwiSundowns, linye inqaku kwiRemo Stars. Alinawuze libathethelele. Amqeqeshi wabo ngisanda uthetha ngaye ngoku inoba ikhonto ayibone nasi iSundowns. Hey, behlabe kakuhle ke lapho uAubrey Mudiba. Remo Stars bake bazama indlela ephumayo. Yabo, akude. Ha! Ibimbethile ibounce unozinti, ibimbethile ibounce yebhola. Nozinti weRemo Stars ulwa nodonga lakhe lokugqibela uthi hayi madoda ngoku anenikhuseli tu. Niludonga njengalazi uba likhusele bani. Sundowns into eyaziyo umnatha ugcwala. Wangena uMuthiba otshabele Peter iyaphuma ushalulile. Otshintsho lenziwa iSundowns iyaphuma uNino Santos. Wenzile uPeter Shalulile wakhe umsebenzi. Angena uNtshabeleni ngoku. Okuzawugqibezela nje umsebenzi banikwa nabo ithuba lokuba ubushushu baseNigeria beke babavu. Kuba bazakholeza babile noba ibhola bayifumenanga. Nansi Remo Stars isiza nebhola iSundowns ikhaba umoya. Seyila Mudala. Thathwa kangabo iRemo Stars lo bhola bayikhuphela ngaphandle kwebala. Ndoda ezabalazayo kwiRemo Stars ke le ayiyeki impempe ingakhalanga. Ndoda edlala i-left back yabo Chikosi Chileku. Ronnie Williams baqala ngeza build up zabo singanxamanga iSundowns, wathi bagqiba beka ibhola kude uLebu waxhuma kakuhle phezu kwala bhola kuba ubude bakhe isithomo samsebenzela. Sales wayithatha ibhola. Iruns ziyenzeka Sales, jonga izipili zakho macala omabini. Balahla uLebu ibhola. Afika ithatha abafana beRemo Stars le ibhola. Sompempe nikezela i-free kick. Aubrey Mudiba ayilumkele la nto balekana la bhola. Sompempe umjongi. Free kick kwiRemo Stars, ixesha lisekho kwicala labo. Ayende Mudiba pasi ibhola enhle. Outside iSundowns. ebhaqe offside iSundowns. Umqeqeshi weSundowns akayeki ukutyontyela. Abaqeqeshi beRemo Stars bacandlisana kwabodwa ngoku. Marcelo nyengeza la bhola kuTebu apha ecankwakhe. Bayabonana abadlali beSundowns, indoda ibamba ibhola uyayibona ibheka nje uba kubani na oyedwa. Tebu Modibo uyayenza irani yakhe. Sundowns yayicenga la bhola iSundowns. Yayicenga ngoku yayisikholisa ifanga phakathi usaleza akazufika. Khawuleza ithatha lo bhola. iRemo Stars yayichitha. Sundowns isephezu kwabo ibhola. Khupito wapasa ibhola ehle. Wafuna i-return pass kodwa ayikhange ifike. I-goal kick. iRemo Stars babeze eMzantsi Afrika bephethe inqaku elinye kumanqaku amane eSundowns. Benza utshintsho. Bamkhupha umfana oneminyaka eli-19 owadama Goicha. Ubaleke pha phambili ibhola zingade ziyokufika. Bathi bakhupha necaptain yabo ngoku. Kwabizwa indoda ibaleka kwicabanga lasekunene pha phambili. I-right winger yabo uHardy. Marcelo Ayende. Wajonga uba ngubani ofree kwiSundowns bafuna ungena ebhoksini. Yacenga ibhola iSundowns ngaphakathi ebhoksini. Oh, wasebenza. Wayiqhawula kakuhle la bhola unozinti. Abalandeli beRemo Stars sebephose kwelokulibala bathule ngoku. Ansi iRemo Stars ngebhola ebhoksini yeSundowns kodwa la bhola iSundowns yakhawuleza ichitha ngokukhawuleza. iRemo Stars bayatsho ukuba liqela elingenabalandeli baninzi. Utsho umqeqeshi weChippa United. Ukanti nonozinto esakudlala kwiChippa United. Bathi noko liqela elingenabalandeli baninzi. Nemidlalo yabo ayifane nje iboniswe kumabonakude kodwa loo nto uMzantsi Afrika ubabonisa bekokwabo kwelaseNigeria. I-SABC ke le izawuphinda ibabonise sebelapha eMzantsi Afrika bebethwa. Ronwen Williams qala kakuhle la bhola kukekana. Kholiso Modawu. Usaleza uphuma phakathi kwamadoda eRemo Stars lula. Ayende bazawuphinde bayibambe ibhola bacothise umdlalo. Modawu. Sales. Modawu. Ayihlaba kakuhle la bhola nansi iSundowns. Yasebenza iRemo Stars yayichitha loo nto. Ingaba i-counter ke ingaba i-coast to coast enhle. Sompepe advantage. Uhlake indoda yeRemo Stars wathi mayihlale iRemo Stars. Kodwa yayilahla lo bhola yokubanjwa ngasemva. Ronwen Williams. Othatha ixesha lakho uRonwen. Yaqonda baseyimizuzu mithandazo leyo. Manqaku amahle angakhwinisiyo eSundowns. Manqaku acocekileyo kanti nenqaku elinye elihle. Nabafana bayiRemo Stars. Ayende. Sales. Ufike watshisa ibhayi uSales wabhaqa nenqaku. Yahlathwa kakuhleleni ibhola ngoku iSundowns. Nankulu Motiba ibhola enhle. Mahlanu ebhodini. 5-1. The super sub zombini. Amadoda asanda ungena i-substitutions eSundowns ikorini. Kuqale uSales. Abesikhonkwane sokugqibela impama ngoku. Impama ngoku upase kakuhle la bhola. Umothiba uyipase kakuhle la bhola. I-finishing inhle ke kumaqela eSundowns. wamnika ibhola uNtshabelenge uKahlego wathi lifikile bangena ngaxeshanye bobabini qhwaba izandla unozinti weSundowns ongaphandle bangene bobabini noLebu uLebu wamnika wathi thatha nansi mntanam iblank check ungasayina noba usayina isiqamali esingakanani na Kahlego indoda evela kufaka inqako indoda efikayo kwiSundowns andiqondi uba abafana bayo iRemo Stars bazaba nomdla wokuza eLoftus kuba ke iSundowns ayinayo laa nto kuthiwa zii-fringe players bonke badlala kwiqela lokuqala noba ngubani obiziweyo uzawungena aqhubeke apha iSundowns ibiyeke khona 5-1 Ray
Mamelodi Sundowns restoring their 4-goal lead, their 4-goal insurance over Remo Stars. A one-sided, dominant display by one of the most domineering forces on the continent this afternoon. There were 2 goals, only 2 goals scored in the first half. The floodgates have even opened a little bit more. Modiba. Mudau. Is this number 6? Back to Modiba. And pouched by the goalkeeper, Serge Obasa. Desperation coming into play once more.
We apologize for that break in transmission. We apologize for the break in transmission for those pictures coming through, of course, from Nigeria, where Remo Stars is currently hosting Mamelodi Sundowns. They are currently trailing the home side by 5-1. Let's take you back to our commentary team.
Technical glitches, part of this broadcasting game. Goals, always part of Mamelodi Sundowns' game.
Maybe you wouldn't want to say it's this time.
They've got 5 of them already this afternoon. Modiba, can he add to their tally? Remo Stars were in dire need of a mightily impressive and a brave performance this afternoon, but that performance just did not surface. They needed a kind of performance that might just inspire them to launch a comeback in the Nigerian Premier League. As of now, they are 9 points adrift from the top. 9 points is not an insurmountable gap, but it's been a challenging season so far for the reigning domestic champions. That's a good ball. Keanu Cupido putting his head in harm's way. Sundowns also wouldn't want to concede again, because that just brings Remo Stars into the conversation. It's also going to be mightily fascinating to see how Miguel Cardoso lines up his troops in the second leg. Is he going to stick to tried and trusted personnel with a 5-1 aggregate scoreline? Or is he going to start with a few youngsters? A few more youngsters, should I say? That remains to be seen next week, Sunday. But this Sunday, it's been the Sundowns show. No slip-ups from the Brazilians this afternoon. Anything but. That was nice from Letlaku. Fresh from the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile. Keeps it in. Nearly caught the goalkeeper out. Believe it or not, but Remo Stars were scheduled to play not 1 but 2 matches before the second leg next Sunday. Suffice to say that those 2 matches in the league have been postponed. So they have the whole week to prepare for the second challenge against Mamelodi Sundowns. This time against a slightly different Sundowns team on their home patch. And unlike this kickoff time, next week Sunday's kickoff time will be slightly earlier. Minutes worth of stoppage time. 1 minute of which has already been played. Here's Sabileng coming back to South Africa after a very successful stint in the MLS in Dallas, Texas state. Another scoring his first goal for Mamelodi Sundowns after signing on the dotted line. It's been an exceptional afternoon in many aspects for Miguel Cardoso and for Mamelodi Sundowns. Many positives, except for one. Of course, the injury of Malibongwe Prince Khoza. How serious that injury is a bit of a mystery as of right now. But Sundowns do have cover in that position. Kekana came on. We still have Lebusa, who's always in the mix for Masandawana. Sales Mokwena again playing a full 90-minute game without showing any signs of fatigue. Modiba tries to rifle one across, does so. It comes off Motiba last. It's been difficult for the big man, Saad, to adapt to the Sundowns style of play. But it won't take him too long, you would presume. Quality player. Good natural physical build about him as well. Miguel Cardoso, the match is already won by 5-1, and he is still barking instructions. Still wanting his troops to try and perfect those finer details. Sundowns do often pay attention to the finer details, more than most. Sporting weekend, as we all know, might be coming to a close, but there is a feast of football for you to enjoy next week from 4 CAF preliminary second leg qualifiers, both in the Champions League and the Confederation Cup, to the Carling Knockout, to the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. All of those matches wait just for you next weekend. Interesting results we've seen this weekend, just setting up what is bound to be another entertaining week of football action on SABC Sports next weekend. So do not dare miss it. As for this one, 5 goals, 5-star performance for Mamelodi Sundowns and Khuliso Mudau. Ladies and gentlemen, Khuliso Mudau is back. Back for club, back for country. And Sundowns seem to have 1 foot in the CAF Champions League proper, bound to qualify for the competition for this 10th season in a row. They wanted to make a statement today after that shocking defeat to Marumo Gallants on their home patch just before the international break. And the international window wasn't shut, it just took a different form today. Another Nigerian-South African matchup, and another matchup won by a South African side. Mamelodi Sundowns winning this one rather convincingly with 2 goals in the first half, then 3 goals in the second. Remo Stars did come back into the game slightly. They started to play with a much better positive attitude, but it wasn't enough. They were nowhere near the level of Mamelodi Sundowns today. Can they get on the same level as Mamelodi Sundowns next weekend, next Sunday? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we shall find out. But for now, from Scotty and myself, it's thank you and goodbye.
Nobel Peace Prize for 19.
I have said I am opposed to all forms of violence.
The newly announced winner of the Nobel Peace Prize was rejected as Bishop of Johannesburg.
Even having had the Nobel Prize, even with the world watching.
We are maintaining apartheid because we are defending Christianity. God wants us to do this.
Aren't we all the children of the same God?
The Arch, Sunday, 9:30.
All right, here we go. Season 20.
Biggest season of our lives.
Possibly our best season yet.
Catching the bad guys and saving the good guys.
Depending on each other.
Like a family.
All right, ready to get it started?
Everybody,
let's do this. All right. NCIS on 3.
Oh, wait. NCIS on 20.
Okay,
shoot, good.
Great night. NCIS action. Saturday and Sunday on 2.
A dance with danger, a new brush with death, chaos in exotic destinations. Destinations, Saturday 6:30 this October.
And it was a very dominant performance for Mamelodi Sundowns. Away from home, they managed to find the back of the net on 4 occasions. It was Matthews that found a goal, Rosinho found a goal, Shalulile with a goal, Kabeleng with a goal, as well as Arthur Salas. And of course, in studio with me to unpack what we've witnessed in the 90 minutes of action, of course, prior to the second leg, is Itumeleng Khune as well as Hlompo Kekana. We spoke about this being the encounter of the defending champions of the respective leagues, but we have to speak about, when you look at Remo Stars, it was their first league victory out in the Nigerian Premier Football League, and you can also see just the difference in terms of the quality of these two defending champions after 90 minutes of action.
You could already see when the match started that you are playing international players who play at the highest level, who just came back from the international break, against players whom they are nowhere near their level and they are not national team players. So you could already see the difference, and hence the scoreline. 5-1 shows that the level is different. When Sundowns made sure that they went to Nigeria to send a message to their next opponents that they're going to be drawn against in the group stage, to say, we are international players and we play for the biggest brand in South Africa and we play for the champions. So they showed the champions' mindset and the approach as well, to say, we're going to score as many as we can, and they could have scored even more. But they were just the last third, because the Remo Stars defense, sometimes they found themselves 2 versus 4. But instead of Sundowns just moving the ball as quick as possible to be able to break down those 2 defenders, they were losing the balls. But the score could have been worse than what we see on TV.
Indeed, it could have been. You look at the Remo Stars defense really just leaving a lot wanting. But Hlompo, we speak about that championship mentality and winning mentality of my Mamelodi Sundowns side. Surely with this 5-1 victory, they will be a bit disappointed that they did concede a goal where many would say Sundowns had no business conceding a goal against Remo Stars.
to be honest, that's a total dominance. And as a team like Mamelodi Sundowns, what you have to do is make sure that you don't concede, especially when the game is there for a taking. It is right. They created so many chances, and there were chances that I thought could have, buried away. The number one thing in this level is make sure that you take your chances. Be ruthless in front of the box. Make sure that all those half chances, you take them and you are home and dry. Look at this incident here. I like how they managed to have this called...
All right, we take a look at the first goal coming through for Mamelodi Sundowns. Of course, this one is Tashreeq Matthews in just the 12th minute of the match. And you were saying, Klampo?
Oh, no, I was speaking about the counter press. That's beautiful, because when you look at the number of women that they did, Tashreeq, to make sure that he steals the half spaces, as the coaches will talk about. I like how the fact that he managed to even take a shot with his weaker foot. Normally, in that instant, one player would think of having to give a pass to Peter, whom I thought he was in a good position. But to take responsibility on that man, I think it was a Champions League mentality from Tash. I think he can easily grow from there, because he has been missing a lot in the previous matches where I thought he's better than that, and I believe he showed today the quality that he possesses in terms of both left foot and right foot, and he can improve from there.
I'm moving from one quality player to another quality player that puts Mamelodi Sundowns 2-0 ahead before the halftime break. It is Peter Shalulile. And you just look at this, Itumeleng, you spoke about defensively. This Remo Stars side just left a lot wanting.
Yeah, no, I don't think this team is well organized, because if you look at the way they keep their distances, it's like they are not aware who to mark and where to mark. Shalulile there finding himself 1v1 with the defender, and obviously inside the box, you are untouchable as a striker. Once you are inside the box, any touch is a penalty. So he did well by putting his body in front of the defender. Anything could have happened. If he can't get the goal, he will get a penalty. But he made sure that he stood strong, he used his strength, and he placed the ball to the far post where the goalkeeper didn't have a chance because of his eyesight, probably, or even his positioning. He didn't position himself well, hence he couldn't even make a diving save.
And that's what the scoreline was at 2-0 going into the halftime break. We thought that Coach Diego Conde was going to speak to his team and they were going to come out a little bit differently. But as soon as it was Mamelodi Sundowns once again dominating. And we see Khuliso Mudawu just starting off the second half and saying, we are not here to play as Masandawana, we are here for maximum results.
Yeah, when you look at this incident, one would say they should have easily dealt with this ball properly, because this is the chance that you don't want to give this opposition that you don't know better or you don't know well, because in some matches they lose and you end up chasing the game unnecessary. But if you tick the boxes and make sure when the ball is wide, look where your strikers is, and manage to deal with the ball properly, I think they had what it takes to deal with this moment. This is what we call about the right back, one of the best right backs in the continent, and I think
in the world.
But if you put it that way, and easily so, because if you look at the action that he continued to put, whether he plays for Bafana or whether he plays for Mamelodi Sundowns, they are consistent. And you need this kind of player to be consistent in his performance. And I marvel how he approached the game. The attitude is always right. Doesn't take anything for granted. He's always wants to be on top of his game. And in a match of this, because I told you in the beginning that this is the match of two nations that they carry a lot of pride in. And if in this match, they still count as South Africa versus Nigeria, and they still count. And the two matches that I lost in Nigeria, they still count as a loss, even though they were not of consequence. But
and the 2 stars that Nigeria has in the Champions League versus the 2 stars that South Africa has still count.
They still count.
Now, we spoke about Tashreeq Matthews, of course, already finding a goal in this match. He comes in the 53rd minute, just trying to give Mamelodi Sundowns yet another game. Unfortunately, not quite able to find the back of the net here.
Yeah, I think towards being substituted, I think he was struggling with cramps, but again, he's been a thorn to Remo Stars.
Yeah.
He was always on the ball, getting into those pockets, picking up those balls and running at the defenders. Like I'm saying, look at the distances. They were found wanting, Remo Stars. So it shows that they don't have a structure that they can follow as a team. The gap between the strikers and the defense, it's huge. And Sundowns was able to counter-press in the middle of the park, win the ball, and what do? They turn and go forward. And they know that the defense is exposed. They are left with 3 at the back, sometimes 4, but Sundowns is in attack with 6 or 7. So the Sundowns had a structure and they had an advantage to say, when we get the ball, we go at them. So it's just that the decision making, at some instances, they couldn't release the ball early and those balls were cut.
Indeed, we speak about that decision making. We also speak about a player we touched on in terms of the first 45 minutes of action. And Hlompo, you was talking about how you wanted to get the opportunity to see a Miguel Rezinho on the ball a little bit more, just so you could assess. In the second half, he comes in, and not only does he get on the ball, but he also finds the back of the net.
Yeah, good for him, good for the club, good for his teammates to trust him with the ball now, because when you see a player that can easily be on top of his game, look at what Mudau is doing. Of course, that's a good assist from Mudau. Like I said, we mentioned in the beginning that he's one of the players that you can rely on in terms of performances. He doesn't leave anything for granted. He always wants to put himself in position. Of course, Rezinho should thank him dearly, because that's what we give Kitia Uje in terms of the pass. I mean, he has done the work. He just give you, and you must just finish the ball. And I'm happy with the performance, especially from Mudau's side, to make sure that he eliminate, and if not, with a lot of positive to go into to the box.
And of course, the 26-year-old there finding his first ever goal in the colours of Masandawana, the Brazilians. And you can see how much that moment means to him, finding the net. But we speak of the players that are showing up differently for Mamelodi Sundowns this season. We're seeing a different kind of Sashrik Matthews. Another player that we're seeing a different form of is an Arthur Salas.
What a great player. Yeah. Remember when Arthur Salas arrived in South Africa? He was played out of position. He was played as a 9, and he wasn't as effective as he is now, playing behind the striker as a 10 or an 8.
Yeah.
Now, when he turns, he has a full view of the pitch. And now he's clever because he's left-footed, but it's either he passes with the inside of the foot, he can pass you with the outside of the foot. So that's the advantage with Salas. He's tall, and you know, when he's on the ball, you can't win the ball easily from him. And once he turns and he faces the opposition goalpost, then you must know there's danger. He will always pick a runner.
All right, so that's just touching on Arthur Salas and what he's been contributing to this Mamelodi Sundowns side so far this season. But let's look at Remo Stars, and they try to create another opportunity for themselves here, but still not just as clinical in front of goal. This, of course, in the 73rd minute.
Yeah, this is coming from Mamelodi Sundowns unforced errors, if we should put it that way, because there was no business of Copido to lose the position there without pressure. Of course, you're giving opposition a sniff into the box. You think that they've got moments. To be honest, that wasn't a moment for them. It was just an error from the build-up. And as a build-up in Mamelodi Sundowns team, we always believe you should always have a safe pass all the time. And to see them losing the ball without a pressure of that nature, I think is suicidal. I think they need to fix that when you go into the second leg of this match. Because in the Champions League, we did mention that it's a game of goals. They don't miss a lot.
And to add to that, Skipper, I think I've counted 11 crosses
from this team
in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And that is one of them. It was a message. Sundowns relaxed a bit, gave Remo Stars some hope to say, hey, we are still in the game. And the score was already 4. But for them to make unforced errors like that and give Remo Stars hope, look what happened next. They ended up getting a goal.
Now, we touched on an Arthur Salas and how he came out for Mamelodi Sundowns in this game. We look at now how the next goal comes about for Mamelodi Sundowns, a combination between a Nuno as well as a Salas to find the next goal for Masandawana. It was just raining goals for them here tonight.
Again, Mudau being instrumental in that regard to make sure that he puts the ball into the box. Santos to have that assist to give it to Arthur Sales. Clinical from Arthur. I like the fact that with his one touch, he managed to hit the target. You need such moments in the Champions League when you do, where you don't take anything for granted. You're still leading 3-0. Make sure you're in a box. Take your chances, because one chance from the opposition can change the whole complexion of this match. And I was happy to see the strikers with the attackers to be at the end of every ball in the box. And of course, they could have done better in terms of other opportunities that they had. But to see this, this is positive to see the attackers scoring goals. As you know, that attackers play with confidence. They rely on what happened in the last match. If they scored, of course, they will look for another moment to score.
And I mean, before we take a look at how Remo Stars then eventually find one must say it was a very tough day in the office for their goalkeeper, because his defense really just didn't do much to help him in this clash.
Yeah, no, Obasa pulled some great saves to keep the team in the game, but he was exposed. Like I'm saying, as a team, you need to know the moments of the game. When are we pressing high? When are we pressing low? And the distances is very important. That when there's a trigger to press, we move as a team. We press them, we use the line as an extra defender. So it's always best to always force the teams to go wide and press them there, because we have a defender a line as an extra defender to help you defend. But the goalkeeper, unfortunately, he was exposed and he pulled out, great saves, but you can't do it by yourself. You need protection in front of you. So the defense was also exposed, because the midfielders were not dropping to come and help. The strikers were not also dropping to come and keep those distances small, so that they can be able to counter-press Sundowns also when they are on the ball. What Sundowns was doing to them, they couldn't come back and do it to them as a home team. And that's why they conceded so many goals.
Indeed, Obasa having a very difficult day out on the field today, but did make some crucial saves. The scoreline could have been much worse than 5-1. We speak now about Remo Stars. We look at a player that comes off the bench and tries to make some impact and eventually is successful in finding a goal for this Remo Stars team. We're speaking on Samson.
Samson scored in the last match in their first preliminary game against the team from Comoros. He was coming again from the bench. This is a good goal. A hurricane style of finish, when Rooney used to finish like that between the legs of the defenders. Of course, it is difficult for goalkeepers, because he uses the defender to score. For me, I still believe that this kind of moments, you avoid them as a team like Mamelodi Sundowns. Make sure that you don't allow opposition to play behind your last line. Let them receive in front of you, especially this run. The defender from Kakana was supposed to follow his run. Make sure that they don't receive in front of you, because when they receive behind you, you give them that opportunity to shoot in front of the defender. It's going to be difficult for the goalkeeper. It will tell you more, especially if there's a defender in front of you. When somebody shoots in anywhere, it's going to be a goal, because you can't see the ball. You can't see where the striker is taking the shot, aiming to.
And the skipper, just a word of advice to current footballers. Watch football, watch what your opponent's strengths are and what's their weaknesses. Because now you are a Cupido, you are a central defender. As a player receives the ball, you can see he's right-footed. What is he going to do? He's going to cut inside. So you close the right,
force him outside.
You force him outside. Now you're giving a goalkeeper enough time to read and to set himself. So once someone cuts inside, the goalkeeper is obviously going to move. It's instincts. Once you take a step, your whole body weight goes to the one side. For you as a goalkeeper to go back to where the ball is being played, it's very difficult. So hence, Ronwen couldn't even dive. He just fell because it's not easy. The ball went through the defender's legs. And it makes it difficult, because you're thinking he's going to block it. But he won't. But if only the Sundowns players had done their homework and they know once these guys get into our box or in front of our box, they want to take shots. They want to cross when they go wide. We'll try and block all of that. Sundowns could have easily walked away with the clean sheet, but they've allowed the player to go back inside to his stronger foot. And what did he do? He was clever enough, knowing very well the goalkeeper is going to move to the left because he's thinking he's going to bend it to the far post. But he opted for the near post, and it's not easy for any goalkeeper to go back to where you come from.
Not easy for any goalkeeper to go back. That meant our scoreline was now sitting at 4-1, and another